Hello everybody, I am Krishnarao Patro, Associate Professor in the Department of Computer Science Engineering from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering College, Hyderabad. So today we will discuss about the concept of arrays in Java, how arrays are used in Java. That means whenever we are having a group of similar kind of data or group of homogeneous data, then you would use array concept. So now how you can use array in Java, we will discuss. And what are the different kinds of arrays are there in Java, we'll discuss. First of all, you should know the definition of array. Array is a collection of homogeneous element. So underline the word homogeneous. Homogeneous means similar type. If it is integer category means all the element must be integer type only. If it is character means all must be character type. So entire array should hold similar kind of data. Then that is called what? Homogeneous elements. Normally an array is a collection of similar type of element. Similar type means all are integer means integer only. All are character means character only. All are string means string only. So depending upon the type of requirement, you have to use that type of array. The elements of array are stored in a contiguous memory location. So whatever the elements you are storing, that will be stored in a contiguous memory. That means in a sequential memory. We can store only fixed size of elements in the Java array. So the array size is always fixed. You cannot extend. Once you allocate that much size, it will allow you to use. Once you go beyond, that will throw exception. Array index out of bounds exception. So always you define the size, whatever you need. You cannot go beyond that one. So the size of the array should be defined at the beginning itself. Fine. Array index start from 0. So array in Java is index based, and the first index is always 0th index. The next index, the first index, and then second, then third. That means start from 0. So this is the first element is 0th index, next is 1th index, next second index, next third, next 4th, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are called what? Array index. They are what? Now in this array, how many elements are there? Totally 9 elements. So the length of the array is 9. And the starting index is how much? 0. And what is the last index? The length minus 1. Length is 9. 9 minus 1 is 8. So the last index is length minus 1. Length 9 means 9 minus 1, 8. So this is the last index. Okay. Now this 40 is what? The value available at 0th index. 55 is what? The value available at 1th index. 63, the value available at second place. Similarly, 89, the value available at 8th index. So at a different index, you are having different values. You can change the value at any time. You can fetch the data at any time. And the elements are stored in a contiguous memory. For example, the starting address is 100. And every integer requires how much? 4 bytes of memory. Then what is the next address? The next address will be 104. If the starting address is 100, the next address is 104. Then what is the next address? We have 104 plus 4. That is 108. So this 108 is what? The address of second index. Similarly, next address is 112. 112 is the address of third index. Then 116. Then 120. Then 124. Then 128. Then 132. They are addresses. In that particular address, the values are stored. As you said, it is a contiguous, so it goes in a sequential order. Sometime even in the exam they may ask, if the starting address is 1000, then what is the next address of the integer array? If the starting address is 1000, next address will be 1000 plus 4. The next will be 1000 plus 4 plus 4. That means every element requires 4 bytes. So 4 will be you can add. So that will get the next address. Then there are different types of array. It can be one times array, it can be a 2 times array, or it can be multi-times array. In one dimensional array, the element should be stored in a single row. So you can imagine as if this is a group of elements. Assume there are 3 elements. This is a 0th element, first element, second element. If there are 3 elements, you can have an array of size 3. There you can store 3 elements. Then there is something called two-dimensional array. Two-dimensional array, it will store the data in rows and columns form. That means it will look like a matrix form. So we are having set of rows and columns. You can imagine as if there are 3 rows, under each row 3 columns. So this is one type of a two-dimensional array whose dimension is 3 by 3. Of course, you can have 3 rows, 4 columns. So 3 by 4. Or you can have 10 rows, 20 columns. So the dimension can be anything. There is no restriction. But there will be set of rows and columns. Every row will be acting as one type of one-dimensional array. So indirectly I can say a collection of one dimension is 2 dimension. Collection of one dimension is 2 dimension. Next, multi-dimensional array. This is a combination of 2 or more arrays in nested array. So if you combine multiple 2 dimension, that become 3 dimension. If you combine multiple 3 dimension, that become 4 dimension. So like this, you can have a multi-dimensional array. So when I say multi-dimensional array, it is nothing but either 3D array, 3-dimensional array, or it can be a 4D array, that means 4-dimensional array, any dimension, n dimension. So then how to write a 3-dimensional array? Every 3-dimensional array is nothing but collection of 2 dimension. Assume this is 3 by 3. First to 2 dimension. Again there is one more 2 dimension. 3 by 3. Again one more 3 dimension. 1, 2, 3, 3 by 3. If you combine all the 3, that become a 4 dimension. This become a 3 dimension. 3D array. This is the 0th 2 dimension. This is 1th 2 dimension. This is 2nd 2 dimension. So collection of 2 dimension is called 3 dimension. So in a simple form I can say collection of 2 dimension is 3 dimension. Is 3 dimension. This is 0th 2 dimension. This is 1th 2 dimension. It is 2nd 2 dimension. So this collection of 2D is 3D. And every element you can refer with the help of index. So please remember, for 1-dimensional array, the starting index is 0, then 1, then 2. For 2-dimensional array, there will be 2 index. 0th row, 0th column. 0th row, 1th column. 0th row, 2nd column. Similarly, 1th row. 1th row, 0th column. 1th row, 1th column. 1th row, 2nd column. Similarly, this is 2nd row. 2nd row, 0th column. 2nd row, 1th column. 2nd row, 2nd column. So every element of a 2-dimensional array referred by 2 index. One is row index, second is column index. So these are called what? Row index. Row index. And these are called column index. Okay. So when I say a 2-dimensional array, this is nothing but 0, 0. That means 0th row, 0th column. This is nothing but 0th row, 1th column. 0th row, 2nd column. Every element of the 2-dimensional array referred by 2 index. Row index and column index. Now similarly, can you say the last one? This is 2nd row, 2nd column. So 2, 2. This is 1th row, 1th column. First end, 0th row, like this. So you can refer any element of the array by specifying the index. Similarly, for 3-dimensional array, there will be 3 index. This is referred by 0th 2 dimension, 0th row, 0th column. That means 0, 0, 0. Referred by 3 index. This is referred by, because 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. This element referred by 0th 2 dimension, 2nd row, 2nd element. Every element of a 3-dimensional array referred by 3 index. 2-dimensional index, 1-dimensional index, and means row index, column index, as well as 2-dimensional index. The 3 index you have to specify. Similarly, this element, can you now specify? This is 2nd 2 dimension and 2nd row, 2nd column, 2, 2, 2. So, first of all, you have to say which 2 dimension, then which 1 dimension, then which column. By specifying 3 index, you can identify the element from the 3-dimensional array. So, Java can handle any type of array. 1 dimensional array, 2 dimensional array, 3 dimensional array, 4 dimensional array, even n dimensional array also. So multiple dimensions you can represent. Anyway, day by day we will be using this array concept in a program. Let us see a small example of one dimensional array. Int x of square bracket. See, when I say array, you would use the square bracket. The square bracket indicates representation of array. This is array symbol. Okay, this is array symbol, and this is data type symbol. Name of the array, then the array symbol. You would like this. So it is an integer array. In this array, how many elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 elements are there. So these 5 elements are stored in the contiguous memory. This is at 0th index, 34 is at 0th index, 21st at 1th index, then 2 is available at 2nd index, 66 available at 3rd index, then 567 available at 4th index. So every element of the array is referred by a particular index. So these are all array indices starting from 0th index. And I told you every element will be identified by a special address. Now assume the starting address is 1000. Then what is the next address? Because the integer array, every integer requires 4 bytes. Every integer requires 4 bytes of memory. So the next address will be 1004. And the next address will be 1008. Because every time you have to add 4. Why 4? Because integer is a 4 byte element. Every integer requires 4 bytes of memory. 4 bytes. That's why you have to add 4. The next is 1012. Next is 1016. So in the memory, the element should be stored in this format. So when you write this way, automatically those elements should be stored in a contiguous memory. Okay. So in exam also you have to specify in this form. Write first array, assign the value, then print the memory addresses also. So this is a simple example of a one-dimensional array. Next, a two-dimensional array. Then how to write a two-dimensional array? Now see, this is 5 by 5, 5 rows, 5 columns. 5 rows, 5 columns. Int x up. This is the square bracket is representation of array. When there are 2 square brackets, it indicates a two-dimensional array. So it is an integer two-dimensional array. So how many elements are there? 5 rows, 5 columns. Initially all the elements are filled with 0. This element referred by what? 0, 0. This referred by, because 4th row, 4th column, 4, 4. Every element of a two-dimensional array referred by 2 index, row index as well as column index. Now can you tell me this one? What is the index of this element? Because this is 1th array, so 1th row, 3rd column. So 1, 3. This is referred by 1, 3. 1, 3. 1 indicates row index, 3 indicates column index. Similar, this is here you have assigned int of 2 of 1 equal to 8. So you are assigning value 8 at 2nd row, 1th column. 2nd row, 1th column. 2nd row and 1th column. The 8 is stored here. This is one way of assigning the value. Assigning the value. You have assigned the value 8 at 2nd row, 1st column. Assume this is another array. This is an array having how many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 rows are there. And how many columns? 1, 2, 3. 4 rows, 3 columns. 4 rows, 3 columns. 4 rows, 3 columns. First row, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Second row, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. Next row, 7, 8, 9. Next row, 10, 11, 12. So, when you write in this way, automatically the data will be stored in this rows and column format. Because this is an example of a two-dimensional array. So, in this form, the data will be stored. I hope it is clear. If at all you want to fetch the data 9, now can you tell me how to fetch the value 9? Data is available at which place? 2nd row, 2nd column. So, array of 2nd row, 2nd column gives value how much? That is 9. Similarly, how to refer 11? Third row, 1th column. Third row, 1th column. That is your 11. So, you can fetch any data from the 2-dimensional array by specifying row index and column index. So, these are your row index. And these are your column index. Okay. And what is the dimension of the array? 4 rows, 3 columns. Now we'll see how to declare the array. How to declare the array. For declaring array, you can write first data type, then the square bracket symbol, then the name of the array. Or you can write data type, square bracket, ARR without space also. Or third way, data type, name of the array, square bracket. The square bracket can be given before name or after name. So I can write here int x square bracket. This is one way. This is one type of declaration. Or I can write int square bracket x. So that means the name of the array is x. This square bracket you can write either before name or you can write after name. Both are correct. So Java allows to define the array in many ways. Either you can follow first or second or third. This is one way of array declaration. Similarly, for 2-dimension, int matrix of, because matrix is a 2-dimensional array, first is row index, second is column. So here you can specify the row size, here you can specify the column size. Or you can write int int, first you can specify one square bracket for row, another square bracket for column, then name of the array. You can write this way also. These are the different ways of declaration of array. So array you can declare by using this syntax. What is the syntax? First data type, then the name of the array, then the array symbol. The array symbol is square bracket symbol. Similarly, how to initialize, how to instantiate, that means how to allocate memory. And remember, array requires dynamic memory allocation. Array requires dynamic memory allocation. Array requires dynamic memory allocation. So whenever the dynamic concept comes, always you have to use a operator called new. So num new int of 5. That means what? You have declared an array whose name is num. This num is now allocating memory for how many integers? Int of 5. That means 5 integers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So automatically it is allocating memory for 5 integers in a contiguous way. Each integer is 4 bytes. So 5 into 4, 20 bytes will be allocated. Okay. So in this way, the memory will be allocated. Similarly, 2-dimensional array. Name of the array equal to new followed by data type followed by row size and column size. So remember, based on the size, that many elements will be allocated. Similarly, here I wrote what? Matrix equal to new int 3 or 4. That means what? There are 3 rows, 4 columns. First column, second column, third column, fourth column. In this way, the memory will be allocated. This is one dimensional array. This is 2-dimensional array. So of course, you can have a 3-dimension also in a similar way. If it is a 3-dimension, you have to use 3 square bracket. If it is a 4-dimension, you have to use 4 square bracket. So depending upon the dimension, the number of square brackets are changed. So this is simply to declare the different types of array. Now let us instantiate, initialize and traverse the array. This array is going to store 5 integers. How many? 5 integers. So this is one way of declaring array. Int a of square bracket equal to int of 5. That means what? This 5 is my size. That means I can store maximum 5 integers. 5 integers. The size decides how many elements you can store in the array. So name of the array is a and the size is 5. Automatically it will allocate memory for 5 integers. Each integer is 4 bytes. Each integer is 4 bytes. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine. When I write a of 0 equal 10, automatically 10 will be stored at the 0th place. A of 1 equal 20, then 20 will be stored at 1th place. A of 2 equal 70, then 70 will be stored at second place. Then 40. Then 50. So like this, the data are stored. Now, whatever the data you have stored, you want to print it on the screen. So from where you have to print? From 0th index. So for I equal 0, a less than length. The length is a special attribute which is nothing but the size of the array. Size of array. What is the size of the array? Here in this example, the size are 5. So that means a dot length is nothing but 5. So that means what? This loop repeats 5 times. System dot out dot println a of I. First, I value how much? 0. So it goes to the 0th place. Whatever data is there, it will fetch. That value is 10. So it will print 10 first. After printing 10, then the loop goes to next I plus plus. I goes to next index. First to 0th index, then the next index. In the next index, what is the value? That is 20. So 10, after 10, the 20 will be printed. Because it is a println statement, it will come to next line. Then I plus plus. It goes to second index. Then 70. Then it goes to next index, 40. Then it goes to next index, 50. So the 5 integers are displayed on the screen. 1 by 1. Whatever the index you have specified, from that index it is fetching. Because Java uses to fetch the data using indexing mechanism. Of course, you can fetch the data using for each element from the collection also in a sequential order. So this is a simple example of how to declare the array and how to assign the value and how to print the value. So this is a simple Java array. I hope it is clear. Anyway, we'll write a program also. First we will see how you can write the program. Then there is one special array called Jagged array. What array? Jagged array. Jagged array is a special array where the row size of each member of the two-term array is different. That means row size is changing for row by row. In this example, the first row having 2 elements, first and second. Second row having 1, 2, 3, 4. Here 4 elements. Third row having 1, 2, 3. Different row having different size. So the row size is not fixed. Here changing. Whenever the row size is changing for a 2-dimensional array, then that array is called Jagged array. The array which having different row size, then that array is called Jagged array. Different row size of 2D array is called Jagged array. So in this example, I am having 3 rows. And how many columns? The number of columns are not fixed, but number of rows are fixed. There are 3 rows, fine. The number of columns are changing. For first row, only 2 columns. For second row, 4. For third row, 3. Whenever the number of elements for each row is changing, then that array is called Jagged array. Whereas in a normal 2-dimensional array or in a regular array, or that is also called a rectangular array or a square array, in that case, every row will have a fixed number of elements. Here 3 means here also 3, here also 3. This is also called a regular array. This is a regular array. So in the regular array, every row will have same elements. In Jagged array, every row will have different elements. The size is changing in Jagged array. Where in the regular array, the size is fixed for every row. Then here, we'll have a small example on the Jagged array. Int array equal new int 3. That means here 3 is what? Fixed. 3 rows are fixed. But column size is not given. Column size is not given. That means every row will have different elements. So here what I will do? Array of 0 equal to new int of 3. That means the first row will have 3 elements. Then array of 1 will have 4 elements. That means what? Here I am having 4 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4. Array of 2, that means second will have only 2 elements. 1 and 2. 0th row, 1th row, second row. Number of rows are 3. But the number of elements of each row is changing. So now, in this array, So it is what type of array? This is one jagged array. In this jagged array, I want to store the data. So how many 1 dimensional arrays are there? So the array dot length talks about how many rows are there. So there are 3 rows. That means the outer loop repeats 3 times. For I equal 0, I less than length, I plus plus. There, for each row, the number of elements are changing. J equal 0, J less than array of I dot length, array of I initial 0. 0th row length, how much? 3. That means it will repeat 3 times. Then you assign the value array of I comma j equal to count plus plus. Initially count is how much? 0. So first 0 is stored, then 1 stored, then 2 stored. So the first row contains 0, 1, 2. After finishing this first row, then it goes to outer row. Now I become 1th row. In 1th row, how many elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 elements. So as the count is incrementing, the next 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3, 4, 5, 6 stored in the second row. After finishing second row, again the control goes to I plus plus. Now I become second. For second row, what is the size? 2. So it will repeat 2 times. So it will be 7, 8. So my jagged array is filled with different data. After storing the data, this is data storage. You have stored the data or assigned data. Data stored. Now whatever data is stored in the array, I want to display on the screen. How many times I have to display? Because there are 3 rows. So 3 rows I have to display. This loop repeats 3 times. Because array.length talks about how many rows are there. Because it is a 2-dimensional array. In 2-dimensional array, if you write array.length, that talks about how many rows. So this loop repeats 3 times. And inner loop for j equal 0, j less than array of I dot length. That means it will repeat based upon that row's length. So here every row having different elements. So first time it will print 0, 1, 2. After printing 0, 1, 2, then it goes to next row. In next row, it is printing 3, 4, 5, 6. Then again it goes to next row. In the last row, it prints 7, 8. So in this format, you will find the data. So you will be getting this output like this. So this part is not allocated. This is not allocated. This is not allocated. So this is your required output of jagged array. So please remember, this is the simple way of writing a jagged array. Now we will go to our notepad. There, how you can create our own jagged array with different dimension. Let us go to our notepad. Yes. Control N. Let us start with array demo first. So I will create a array. There I will store set of data. After storing the data, I will print those data. So our goal is what? Store 5 elements. Store 5 integer elements in an array and print those elements. I want to print it. So what I will do? Plus array demo, open bracket, close bracket. Where I should declare the array? Because generally array should be declared in a method. So I'll go to the method. Which method? I'll go to my driver method directly. Public static void argument array. Okay. Now what is my goal? To store 5 integers. So whenever you want to store integers, then you have to go for integer array. So how to declare array? Int. The name of the array is ARR. Then you have to specify the array size. Means array symbol. The square bracket symbol is the representation of array. So this is your array declaration. Array declaration. Then you have to instantiate. You have to allocate memory. You have to initialize the array. So how to allocate memory for array? This array equal to int of within square bracket. Here you have to specify the size. Here I will write 5. That means what? I am assigning 5 for size. That means I am going to store 5 integers. So this array can accommodate only 5 elements. This is array initialization or array instantiation. Arrays instantiation. That means memory allocated. Memory allocated. Automatically, once the memory is allocated, it will fill with zeros. After allocating memory, in that area, what you have to do? Because you have to store some data. Let me store the data. The name of the array is ARR. ARR of 0 equal to, assume, I'll write here 10. Control C, Control V. Now, the first element, assume this is 12. The second element, assume 14. Third element, assume 16. And the next element, 18. So here I have to specify the index. This is the second index. This is the third index. And this is the fourth index. Because the size is 5, size minus 1 is the last index. So size 5 means 5 minus 1, 4. 4 is the last index for this array. Now, whatever the elements you have stored, that element I want to display on the screen. So how to display? Put a loop for int I equal to 0 until I less than how many times I have to display. That depends on the size of the array. So how to know the size of the array? So for that the attribute called length. ARR dot length. For array, there is a special attribute called length that will tell us about how many elements are there or what is the size of the array. So in this example, the size is 5. Automatically, this loop will repeat 5 times. I just this. Now print on the screen those elements. So how to print? System dot out dot println ARR of I. Initially I is how much? 0. So it will print the 0th index, then 1th index, then 2nd index, then 3rd index. So it will go to that index and it will fetch the value. So whenever you want to print each element of the array, then you write in this format. Now let us save the program. Control S. Array demo and store in Java folder. Save. Yes, program is saved. Now go to the folder, containing folder, Java C, array demo. Here there is a small error. What is that error? Because you are allocating memory. If you want to allocate memory, you have to use operator called new. New int of 5. Because if you write new, then only memory will be allocated. So do not forget to write new. Yes. Now successfully compiled. There is no mistake. How to run Java array demo? Compile it. Yes. So what I got? The first element 10, next 12, next 14, next 16, next 18. So whenever you want to fetch the data, you write like this. ARR of I. I is the index, but ARR of I is the value. Fine. Assume you want to print index also. So I can write here the index is I plus that value plus Control S. Let us compile it. Yeah, compile successfully. Let us run it. Yeah. At 0th index, value is 10. Next, 1th index, 12. 2nd index, 14. 3rd index, 16. 4th index, 18. So, you are able to fetch the data from the different index. Now same program, I may ask, can you find the sum of all elements? Can you find sum of all the elements of the array? So if you want to add all the elements, what will do? I want to declare a variable called sum. Initially sum is 0. After fetching the data, I will add to sum. Now my goal is to find the sum. So sum equal to sum plus ARR of I. So automatically what happened? The 0th element is added to sum. Next time 1th element added to sum. Next time 2nd element added to sum. Next time 3rd element, 4th element, like this. It is keep on adding, cumulative addition. So when the loop is over, by that time my total sum is available in the sum. So let us display on the screen. The total is system.out.println. Here I will print the sum. Now sum equal to plus sum. Now sum is printed on the screen. Sum is printed on the screen. Let us run. Java C array demo. Yes, Java array demo. Yeah, now my sum is 70. If you add all the elements, 10 plus 12 plus 14 plus 16 plus 18. So the sum is 70. So this is the way you can fetch as well as you can do calculation. Sometimes they may ask, find the average also. Find the average. So in that case, how to find average? The average is nothing but sum by the size of the array. So here I will print average. Average value equal to sum divided by the array dot length. Array dot length. That gives you the number of elements available in the array. As it is integer, integer by integer is integer. So you will be getting pure integer format. So that means you will not get the decimal value. Compile it. Yes, compiled successfully. Now Java array demo. Yes, I got the average 14. 70 by 5. 70 by 5 is 14. So in this way you can find the sum and average. Because most of the time, even in the exam, they may ask, store the set of elements, find the sum and find the average. So in this way you can find. Next we'll do one more program. Find the biggest element of the array. Find the biggest element of the array. Find biggest element from the array. So your array may have set of elements. For example, the array may have 12, 45, 67, 15, 6, 81, 9, 41. You are having set of elements. From that set, that means from the group of elements, you have to find the biggest element. Those elements are stored in a contiguous area. Now, here your goal is to fetch which is the biggest one. So that means what? You have to compare first with the second. If it is first one is greater than second, then I will say second is the maximum. Then I will compare that element with the next element. Whichever is bigger, I will store in the big element. Then next, I will compare this with the next element. So always I will be updating the biggest element in a big variable. That variable I will be comparing with the next element. Every time I will be updating the big. Whichever is bigger, the big is updated. So I will be keep on repeating, checking until end of the array. So let us solve this problem. Find the biggest element from the array. Plus big element. This is the name of the class. Then you will write public static void main string arguments array. Okay, my array is, so my main method is ready. There, what is my goal? You have to find the biggest element from the given set of data. The given set of data is already given. So how many elements are there? That I do not know. So Control C, what I will do? Int ARR square bracket equal to, while initializing, you should write like this. Control V, remove this square bracket. This is called array initialization. Because this data is already given, this is called array initialization. Array initialization. So internally the system will declare how much memory you need. That depends on the length of the array. Based upon the length of the array, that much memory will be allocated. So during runtime, the memory will be allocated based upon the number of elements. This is array initialization. Now, what is my goal? To find the biggest element. Int, I will declare a variable called big. Initially, I will assume that the first element is the biggest one. So I will assign big equal to ARR of 0. So I am assuming that the 0th element is the biggest one. Then I will compare this element with next element, means from first element. Again I will compare big with 1th element. If these two, after comparing, if the first element is bigger, then I will update the big. If it is not up bigger, the big will be big only. Then go to next element. Then again compare big with second. I will compare. If the second is greater than big, then big will be updated. Otherwise, big will be as it is. Then go to third, then fourth, then fifth, till end. So it is keep on repeating, and every time it is updating. Whichever is bigger, the big is updating. So I will put a loop for int I equal to, instead of starting from 0, I will start from 1. Because already 0th element is assigned with big. So I will start from 1. How long I will repeat? Until I less than the length of the array. Array dot length. This talks about how many elements are there. So that many times. And I plus plus. In this array, you are having set of elements. Now I will compare the ith element with big. If, so for comparing, you have to use relational operator. If array of I, if the ith element is greater than big, that indicates what? Ith element is big. If it is big, then I will assign big equal to ARR of I. So every time I am checking whether the ith element is greater than big or not. If at all it is greater, then assign to big. Otherwise, don't assign at all. The previous value will be big itself. So it is keep on repeating for all the elements. So this is the main part, which is comparing and assigning. Comparing and assigning. If it is true, assign it. Then go to next element, next element, next element. Every time the I is changing, so that that element is up checking. If at all is greater, assign it. Otherwise, don't assign. When the loop is over, then I will print the biggest element. So print. So how to print? System dot out dot println big element is plus big. So if I run this program, which is the biggest element? Can you guess? 12, 45, up to 45 is bigger now. Now 67, up to this 67 bigger. Then 67, then 67. Now 81. Now 81 is bigger. Then 9, then 41. So 81 is the biggest element. So my answer is supposed to be 81. So if I execute this program, I should get 81. Let us check. Control C, Control S, Control V, Java source file. Compare. Go to command prompt. After going to command prompt, then compile it. Java C, big element dot Java. Yeah, there is a small mistake. There is a 2 comma. So there should not be 2 commas. 1 comma should be removed. Control S. Actually, in this array, how many elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So out of 8, you would find the biggest element. Now compile it. Java C, big element, .java. Yeah, now there is no mistake in the program. If at all any mistakes are there, automatically the compiler will give error. Once the error comes, go to the program, change it and save it, and again you have to run. Because if you are not updating, if you are not running, what will happen? The previous bytecode will be running. So always save it, compile it, so that it will produce a new bytecode. That new bytecode you would run. Java, big element. Now, yeah, I got 81. So the biggest element is 81. So this is the way you have to do. So this is a simple application to find biggest element. Is it clear? Now, you have seen a simple example of an array to find biggest element. Same program, Control A, Control C, Control V, Control A, Control C, Control N, Control V. Here small element. Assume I want to find the small element. If you want to find small element, what you will do? Instead of greater than symbol, you would use less than symbol. Same program with the less than symbol. So instead of big, I will use small. Initially, I will assume that the 0th element is the smallest one. So here aim is find the smallest element. Then if this element is less than small, then I will that small equal to this. I am comparing ith element with small. If this element is still less than small, then small equal to error of I. Then print the small element. Small element. Here I will write small. So what I did, I have declared a variable called small, and initially I have assigned the 0th element is the smallest one. Then I am comparing with next element onwards. That means I am not comparing with again 0. I am starting from 1. Compare with 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, next till end of the array. So this loop repeats till end of the array. At the end of the array, my smallest element will be known. Once you come out, then print the smallest element. Smallest element. What is the name of the program? The smallest element. Control C, Control S, Control V, smallest element. Java, source file. Compile it. Yes. Program compiled. Control S. Now go to the command prompt. Here, if I run, what I'll get the output? Can you guess? First is small, 12. Then you are comparing 45. Till now, 12 is the small. Then compare with 67. Still 12 is small. Then come to 15. Still 12 is small. Then come to 6. Now 6 is less than 12. So now the small is 6. Then compare 81. 67 is small. Then come to 9. 67 is small. Then come to 41. 67 is small. So the smallest element is 6. Java C. Smallest element. Yes, compiled successfully. There is no mistake. Java. Smallest element. Yeah, my smallest element is 6. So most of the time, even in the exam, they may ask, store the data in the array and find the smallest element or biggest element. Okay, so as well as sometimes they may ask a question, in which position the smallest element is there? Element is 6, no doubt. But at which place? Is it available 0th place or 1th place or 6th place or 10th place? In which place the data is there? Now, assume I want to find out in which position the smallest element is there. So how to know? So for that, you can modify the program a little bit. Initially, I'll make a variable called position. Initially, position is how much? 0. Position is 0 because you are storing small equal 0. So my 0th element is the smallest. Later on, what I will do? When I am comparing this data Here you are updating what? The value. At the same time, you can update the position also. That position is nothing but index. That position is nothing but index. You assign that position equal to I. So every time the position is updating. So the position variable remembering your index also. So when the loop is over, I will be knowing my element as well as my position also. So let me print my position also. Smallest element position. That position is post. That message I want to print. Control S. I save the program. Compile it. After compiling, run it again. Yes, my position is fourth place. 0th place, first place, second place, third place, fourth place. So at fourth place, the smallest element is available. So based upon the question, that means sometime even in the exam they may ask, find the position of the smallest element. Then answer is 4. Find the smallest element only, then 6. If they are asking both, you write the both concept. If they are asking only one, you write only one. So this is the way you can do this. This is your which array? Integer array. Similarly, you can have character array, or you can have float array, or you can have string array. Let us have one string array. Control S, Control N. We'll go for a string array. String array plus string array. String array means what? You can have set of strings in a single array. Public static void main string argument array. Now let us initialize one string array. String, assume I will store names. It is an array symbol equal to, within curly bracket I will write the names. Assume Rama, Prasad, Krishna, Raghu, Anil. Some names are there. Now this is Rama available which place? 0th place. Then first place. Then second place. Third place. Fourth place. Now based on the index, I want to print on the screen. Those names I want to print on the screen. So how to print on the screen? For integer I equal 0, I less than. So how many names are there in my array? That I will know using length attributes. So names dot length, length, that talks about how many elements are there or how many strings are there in the array. Then I plus plus. Then print on the screen system dot out dot println names of I. So it will print that 0th name. Let us print on the screen. Control C, Control S, Control V, string array, Java. Go to the command prompt. Java C, string array. Yes, compile successfully. Java, string array. Yes. Now it is printing element by element. Of course, you can fetch those array elements using extended for loop or for each loop. Let us have use for each loop. I think already we discussed for string s colon the names. So you can use this loop also. This is, now it is acting like one type of collection. Now this array also collection of elements. So you can apply this name. One by one you can fetch and print on the screen. So here you should not use index because it goes in a sequential pattern. Now system dot out dot println followed by s. Now this is comes from the loop. Now println, before that I will put a message using for each. Using for each. Control S. Let us print. Java C string array dot Java. Yes, compiled successfully. Now run Java string array. Yes. Now using for each also you are getting same answer. So you can fetch the elements of the array using normal indexing mechanism or using normal for loop, means extended for loop. So both ways are there, you can use. So now in the future days you will be using this array concept. Fine. Similarly you can use float array, double array or boolean array, any kind of array you can use. So but array should store only similar kind of data. In integer array you cannot store float, or in the float array you cannot store boolean. Boolean array means only booleans, and string array means only strings, because they are all homogeneous, similar kind. So this is the way you can do the program. I hope it is clear. So the remaining parts actually related to two-dimensional array. We'll see in the next session. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.